Guys, welcome to the Ranting Chop. It's me, Melissa. Today we're gonna be doing Ready to Love Season 5, Episode 7. In today's episode, the women was supposed to introduce the men of their interest to their ex. So that's what we're gonna be reviewing. So first we're gonna be talking about Joy, Sean, and Laverne. Joy, Sean, Laverne, and Cliff. Her ex's name is Sean. I must say he took his job very seriously in vetting these men. He wasn't playing any games. Cliff was completely blindsided. He thought it was a one-on-one date, and he came in and he sees Laverne, he sees Sean, and he's like, what the hell is going on? So he was very defensive. And he also seemed a little bit insecure, a little bit paranoid, because maybe in the past he's went through situations where him or his ex-wives still had relationships with their exes, and that created problems in the relationship. Or maybe it was him that still had a connection with an ex or an outside party that created the demise of his marriage. So Sean took it as Cliff being insecure and jealous, and he definitely was bringing his past baggage into the current situation. And so I felt as if Sean was kind of shading him a little bit when he mentioned Cliff going through counseling. And Cliff was like, I am taking counseling and I'm still taking counseling, and I feel like you should continue to take counseling, because now we're getting more insight into why Cliff's marriages didn't work. And it seems like a lot of it had to do with him. And I know that Cliff comes across as very secure and masculine and alpha, but I think deep down inside there are some very, very deep insecurities that he has, and that has been the demise of his past relationships. I love the way Sean handled the men, particularly Cliff. Laverne to me was a seat filler. He didn't serve any purpose other than filling up a seat. I don't see any connection with him and Joy. Yes, Joy keeps saying that she has this connection with Cliff and Laverne. However, she only has a connection with Cliff, and she only mentions Laverne out of a technicality, like I have to have two, so my other one might as well be Laverne. But there was nothing there. Laverne was just being goofy. We're gonna fight against Sean, Cliff, and blah 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 blah, whatever. Joy actually liked the way Cliff handled the date, but based on what the viewers saw, he didn't handle it in the best way. But when you like somebody, you're gonna see things that wasn't necessarily what it was, because you're looking at it with rose-colored glasses. But I do hope that she gets down to business with him and tries to get to the nitty-gritty. I wonder if she's even asked him why his marriages didn't last, and get out of the I'm so attracted to Cliff thing and look more into him as an individual, as a person in a relationship. How is that gonna work? So then we have Eric spoke about, because in an extended clip that we got way before the episode actually aired, Dakia mentioned the fact that they were taking a picture and he was behind her, probably like a prom picture, like the person is behind you and like has their arms wrapped around the waist or something like that. And so she said, we have a prom picture thing happening here. And so he made it very explicit by raising his hand toward her breast or bosom and actually touching up her breast. And I believe Dakia 100%. I think that is exactly what happened. Even in his account of things, he couldn't even say exactly what happened. You see in his account that he's making it very vague. He's making it very like, I must have did something, and when I did it, it must have not translated well to her. But you know exactly what you did, and I absolutely believe Dakia, and I absolutely believe that you touched up her breast without her consent, and that's why you're gracefully bowing out, because how would it look for you to continue to be on a show with the person you essentially assaulted? It wouldn't be good. Not for the show, not for the Kia, not for anybody else's experience. So people are saying production told him to leave. I believe that production did make him leave, and I also believe that he wanted to leave, because how awkward would it be for him to stay, and then I heard Tommy saying, oh, he's proud of him, or he respects him. What did he do that's worth respect? I mean, he kind of assaulted a woman. I don't know if he apologized to the Kia, but he created a very kind of toxic work environment. And I guess what Tommy respects is the fact that he owns it. Did he own it? Perhaps he did, and decided to get off the show. Okay, good. Now, Carmen brings her ex in. She has this very weird vibe with her ex, holding hands. Girl, like, you're supposed to have your potential partners meet your ex. It seemed as if Carmen was bringing her man to meet other men. That was completely weird. I'm not gonna be surprised if production told her to hold his hand to just create controversy. And since Carmen is making herself out to be this villain, I'm not surprised if she decided to continue on that role and just create this sexy seductress villain type of character that she has already started creating. So she brings in her ex, being extremely flirty with him to the point where it was very uncomfortable. Yes, he's a handsome man. Paul comes in. I didn't know that he had such a strong connection with Carmen. I don't think he did, based on what he was saying. He was saying it as if, oh, let's see what happens here. But it doesn't seem like Carmen was really on his radar like that. But, based on the fact that Eric left, her only choice is Paul. Is to have Paul with Donovan. That's what she did. So the ex asked questions about would they be able to handle Carmen. Carmen works with athletes, attractive people. Would they be able to keep their jealousy in check, or at bay while she does her job? Mr. Paul says he's used to stuff like that, and when they asked him what he did, he said a systems analyst. So if you work behind a computer screen, in what world are you privy to or exposed to athletes and attractive people? Working with athletes and attractive, that confused me. Maybe in another job he did, maybe before he was a basketball player, I'm not sure, but the answer he gave contradicted everything that he said prior, which confused me, confused everybody. So Donovan seemed very secure. He seemed like he'd be able to handle it. I don't think they pressured Donovan too much. In the end, the ex felt like Donovan would be a better match for Carmen. He felt that Paul was a little bit too calm and a little bit too timid for Carmen and the type of job that she does. So anyways, we're going into Ace. Ace's ex, Laverne. Now, Ace's ex looked like very much younger than her. In fact, he looked like he's in his early to mid-20s. Meanwhile, Ace looked like she's in her 40s. So there's this 20-year age gap that it looks like there was. And even in the interaction with Ace and the ex, it just seemed very weird and awkward to me. It did not seem like they were ever exes. It looked like they were friends that is just playing like they were exes, but because I just did not see any chemistry, I didn't see any comfortability with Ace and the ex. It just seemed very weird to me. But his vibe is what I expected of Ace's ex to have, like a very artistic, spiritual type of vibe. So I do get it, but then it just didn't seem natural to me, their vibe and connection. So Laverne comes in, Tori comes in. Tori doesn't care to see an ex, so his response and his approach is more so like whatever. I'm just here to see Ace and clown Laverne. Don't really care too much about her ex. So the ex mentioned like Ace being the alpha in the relationship, and I didn't get alpha from Ace. Nothing about Ace screams alpha to me, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know what an alpha is supposed to look like, but Ace did not embody or does not embody alpha to me. Maybe she does a very like unassuming leadership type of role, but I didn't see leader or alpha from her. But who knows, it could be in their dynamic she was more so an alpha. But Tori mentioned not wanting to dominate the partner that he's with, and so for him there's no alpha and omega, there's no alpha and beta thing. It's just two people together trying to make each other better, I suppose. It was a very textbook response. Laverne talking about, oh, when he sees Ace sometimes he has to make sure he doesn't have an erection. And I'm like, what disgusting conversation is happening right now? And it just struck me as Laverne being very insecure, and he mentioning, oh, he can hold his own. But in that regard, if you are so confident and you can hold your own, why do you feel the need to mention the fact that you get or have erections when you see Ace? That was so awkward for me, and it was so uncalled for, and it was so uncomfortable. I don't know what he was trying to do. Maybe he was trying to make Tori jealous. Maybe he was trying to make her ex feel away, but it was very uncomfortable. Tori, to me, has no connection with Ace. So, to me, I didn't see the point of him being there. But it's almost like people are just filling quotas. Oh, we're supposed to make two people see exes. Let me just pick random people and make them see my ex. But I did not see any connection with Tori and Ace. I don't see a connection with Laverne and Ace. So, to me, if I were to gauge it correctly, I'm gonna say that next week a lady is going home, and I think the lady that's gonna be going home is Ace, because I don't see her having a connection with anybody else. I don't see the connection with Tori. I don't see the connection. And Laverne, we're gonna talk about Laverne later, so let's move on. We have Tori, Sabrina, her ex, Donovan, and Demetrius. So Sabrina had the most people meet her ex. Tori is very combative. To me, comes across as very childish, very jealous. Oh, I don't know how one person can have all these connections. I don't have the energy to have all these connections. Well, people have their process, and her process, I suppose, is to gauge as many people as she is interested in. That's fine to do too. It's also fine to, I suppose, narrow down to maybe two people or a couple people. That's also good. But Tori came across to me very combative and childish in this instance. Demetrius, you notice how Demetrius was the only one meeting her ex versus her having Donovan and Tori together to meet her ex. So to me, that speaks to where she regards Demetrius versus the other men. It looks to me that she holds Demetrius in a higher regard, or she is the most attracted to Demetrius than she is to Donovan or Tori. So that's why he got the one-on-one. But for me, I feel like Demetrius is someone that Sabrina is attracted to physically, but I just don't see them working as a couple. I just don't see it. I feel like the ex brought across several more things that shed light on who Sabrina is in a relationship and who Demetrius is in a relationship, and I don't think they would work very well together, because I feel like we learned that Demetrius is a very, like, a little bit misogynistic, like he's the man, maybe a little bit old school. He's the man, he makes the decisions, he provides financially for the household, he's the man of the house. That's what he gives me, and the woman is his helpmate, the woman is his it almost seems like the woman is submissive to him, and that's what he wants. And it's crazy to me because I don't think Sabrina would really tolerate that dynamic for too long. She might be attracted to him, and the attraction might fuel her interest in him. But as far as a relationship working out between the two of them, I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. Demetrius is not used to consulting his partner about decisions. It seems very dominating, a little bit controlling, as I said before. Tori doesn't think it would work with him and Sabrina, and I just feel like it's because he's hurt. He's hurt still that she kissed Demetrius, and so if you don't see it working out with Sabrina, why accept the invitation to meet her ex? That just speaks to me that just seems to me that he's just talking out of emotion. He's just emotional right now. I don't think he means what he says, or else he would not be on the date. You wouldn't go if you were not still interested in Sabrina. In fact, Sabrina is your only choice, is your only interest at this point, and you're just lying to yourself. You think you're lying to the viewers, but you're not. It's very clear that Sabrina is who you want, and despite her kissing Demetrius, you still want her. You just want to make her sweat. You just want to make her feel like y'all are not gonna work. But the fact that Sabrina agreed with him on him saying they're not gonna work because there needs to be a friendship and there needs to be interest, I think it hurt him more than he let us know that it hurt him. And I feel like he said it because he wanted to poke her a bit, affect her a bit, but it ended up backfiring on him. We know that Sabrina is really feeling Donovan. She's really attracted to him. I sincerely believe that her and Donovan would have a better, maybe longer lasting relationship than her and Demetrius would. Or like, I understand that you find Demetrius attractive, but I feel like that's where it ends. Beyond that, there's nothing there. I do not see Sabrina as being the submissive, quiet woman that Demetrius would want her to be. I feel like Donovan is more her speed. Donovan also is attracted to Sabrina, and he said that if it were up to a decision right now, he would be picking Sabrina. And I believe him. If Sabrina knows what's good for herself, she would go right ahead to Donovan and bypass Demetrius and Tori. The way people come at Sabrina, I noticed that people kind of dislike Sabrina, and I feel like it's because of her kissing or nibbling on Demetrius's ear and allowing Demetrius to kiss her, and people felt like she was playing with Tori, and because of that, people feel like she's this manipulative person and she's this negative person, and Tori has a right to feel how he feels. I have the opposite feeling. Yes, initially I feel like Sabrina was playing with Tori, but at the end of the day, I also feel as if Tori is childish, and so she has a right to feel how she's feeling towards him, because I would feel like unattracted to Tori because he's not making himself seem very secure at this moment, and that's not attractive. So anyways, move on to Tina's age. Now, you guys, from the moment I saw Tina, I knew Tina wasn't 31. A lot of these people on the show are lying to us. They're older than they look. The Kia is not 40 whatever. Ace looks older than her age. There's no way Tina is 31. Absolutely not. The ex mentioned they met in high school in 2003, 2004. That would make her 12 years old. So were they dating at 12 years old? That's crazy to me. Are you throwing things and breaking phones because your 12-year-old partner is cheating on you? I highly doubt it. It's all cap. It's a lie. She is not 31. She's way older than 31. I think she's closer to 40 something than 30. Anyways, I definitely do not believe that she is 31, just based on the timeline. High school, you're in high school at 12 years old. Now, I'm not too sure about the American school system, but high school at 12 years old, dating at 12 years old, like dealing with cheating and all these things at 12 years old just seems a little bit fast to me, and a little bit unbelievable to me, to be honest. So I feel that either she was fast or she's older than she looks. So that's my take on that. I do not think that Tina and Demetrius have a connection. I feel like she and Paul have something, but not her and Demetrius. I feel like it took for her to actually tell Demetrius, hey, I'm interested in you, and it doesn't seem like you're interested in me, for him to take her seriously or to take her on. And for me, that alone makes me feel like Demetrius did not come here to be with anybody. It just seemed like he came there to be for exposure. You know, it seemed like he came there on business and not in a pursuit of love. You know, yes, it's a red flag, and it's a little bit of a pause to know that Tina got angry, threw her ex's phone, punched the wall, and got that angry, you know, when there was conflict. You know, I do expect people to look at that as somewhat of a red flag. And the ex did mention that Tina likes to cut people off. I have no issue with anybody cutting somebody off. If you think that somebody hurt you in a particular way and you don't want to deal with them or discuss it any further, I don't see any problem in cutting them off. But I also feel like there is something mature about communicating and letting somebody know what they did wrong and why it affected you and why you're gonna do what you do. So if you do cut them off, you let them know, well, this is what you did, and I don't think that there's anything else to talk about. There's no need for us to communicate anymore. Bye. And you know, it's a more mature thing to do. But then again, if you were dating him at 12 years old, then I understand why you had that response. You know, because 12 years old, you're dating, you have no business dating, first of all, and your maturity level is not the greatest. So if you did start at 12, I understand why your response was that way. You were a child. So anyways, Cliff. No, before we talk about Cliff, so Paul, the ex, felt like Paul was a better match for her, because Demetrius is too structured, too like, I don't know, very mechanic, very robotic, very, you know, whatever that is. So Paul would have been a better choice for her. And I also agree that Paul would be a better choice for her. You know, because to me, Demetrius doesn't really mesh with any woman there, to be honest with you. He just looked like he came there to be chased. He knows he looks good to women. Well, not to me, but he knows he looks good. And he expected women to run to him, jump to him, like be at his knees begging him for a chance. And that's just not attractive to me. I haven't seen him pursue anybody. Even though he's saying Sabrina is his choice, I've never really seen him pursue Sabrina. So anyway, moving on. So yes, I also mentioned Demetrius doesn't see anything with Tina either. And he's just at this point looking for a reason to cut people off. So he knows there's no connection with Tina. Let me look for a red flag for me to cancel Tina. And so to me, that's what it looked like he was doing. And he found something to cancel her over so he can narrow his choice to Sabrina. That's what it seemed like to me. All right, Cliff. Cliff says if he's married again, so he was talking with Dakia and her ex. He said if he ever gets married again, if they ever get divorced, or if they ever wanted to leave the relationship, it would have to be if one of them die, because he's not getting another divorce. He's not going through that again. He went through it twice already. He's not going through it again. He was testing. I feel like he was testing Cliff, he was testing the Kia's ex. The Kia's ex seemed like he didn't even want to be there. He didn't care about what was happening. It doesn't even seem like him and the Kia was dating. You know, he just came across very cool, nonchalant, calm. It just doesn't seem to me like they ever dated, but it is what it is. Cliff wanted to test the ex to see if he would have a reaction to him touching up the Kia, flirting with the Kia. The ex didn't give a shit. The ex didn't look like he cared, not one bit. So that, to me, that didn't make any sense for Cliff to do all of that, you know. And for him to want to test her and the ex in that way just speaks to the fact that there's a lot of unresolved issues that Cliff needs to work on. Because to me, that's not necessary for you to want to test to see if the ex will have a reaction or to see if the Kia will have a reaction. These just speak to unresolved issues that you dealt with in the past that you're bringing or gonna bring into a future relationship. And to me, if you haven't worked on your stuff, what's the point in doing all that stuff? To me, that's not necessary. So the ladies' lounge happened. Laverne and Tori in the bottom. Laverne apparently heard something from Precious that he was gonna be sent home, and Tina, Sabrina, and Carmen was plotting to send him home. And I'm like, what's really going on here? Is this Survivor or is this just a dating show? Let me know what show I am watching right now, because Laverne just came across to me as crazy. Like, what are you talking about? People are plotting to send you home because they're threatened by your relationship with Ace and they don't want to see you and your relationship with Ace flourish. That just sounded crazy to me. He came in very defensive. He was like, I know you want to send me home. Just cut the crap. We don't have to hug. We don't have to talk about anything. I know you're gonna send me home. Send me home so I can leave. And that was his response. It was kind of similar to other responses that we've had in previous seasons. I feel like it happens when somebody knows they're gonna be sent home, and so they're very defensive. And that's what it seemed like to me with him. He seemed very irrational. He did a live with Paul, and basically he was trying to defend himself, saying to us viewers that he's actually very nice, selling himself and saying that he's a nice person. He's not what they portrayed on the TV. He's not a negative person, although people are trying to say he's negative. But at the end of the day, it's all about perception. You may not feel like you came across negative to some women, but they saw it or interpreted it in that way. What else? He went on a whole tirade about how Sabrina was the one actually cursing. Sabrina was the one that was actually negative. He sat down, he was drinking his drink, and she was the one that got upset. They took away the curse words and the things that Sabrina did, because of course production is gonna want to make Sabrina seem or put Sabrina in a positive light, because I believe that she is gonna make it towards the end. I don't know with whom. Maybe it's gonna be Demetrius. So they need to portray her in a positive way. So there's no way they'd show her cursing and stuff like that. So that's what Laverne said. Laverne said she got upset because Laverne didn't want to play the game. Laverne didn't want to act like everything was cool and that, you know, they're gonna just be chatting when he knew he was gonna be sent home. So yes, Laverne was sent home. So Ace now just has one connection, and that's Tori. And Tori is not interested in Ace. Tori is interested in Sabrina. So Tori is gonna be the next woman sent home. And that's what it's gonna be. Tori to me is very childish. Sabrina knows that he kissed Precious to get back at her. So that's not the type of man she wants. That's not the type of man anybody would want. He's too emotional. He's too he's not as logical as most men, and not as like clear thinking as most men tend to be. He has a lot of growing up to do. I'm not gonna act like Tori is this good person and then Sabrina is this bad person. They both have things that they need to work on. Sabrina in regards to her transparency, and Tori in regards to his response to unfavorable situations. It's just very childish. So anyways, you guys, that's my take on everything that happened. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys hear that Miss, what is her name, Sydney and Phil are no longer dating, and next week we're actually gonna be seeing Phil. Now I don't know if Phil is supposed to be Donovan's friend, because the guys' friends are supposed to meet the exes. So it seems like he's one of the guys' friend, and he's gonna be there next week. We're gonna see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like and subscribe. Are you surprised that Phil and Sydney are no longer together? I'm not. I don't even think they ever dated. And if you do think that or expected them to break up, do you think that they broke up because of maybe something to do with Carmen? Because I did see that they went on a wine tasting date or some type of business date with I saw Carmen there and I saw Phil there. So and we know that they fought in the comment section at some point. So let me know, you guys, in the comment section. Like, subscribe. See you next time for another review from the Ranting Shop. Bye.